I think people get tattooed because, there's not a lot of real stuff left in the world, and it's all like a 24-hour news cycle. Nothing lasts. With tattooing, it's blood, it's pain, it's permanence. When you get that needle in your skin for the first time, you have to be there. You can't just call it in. You have to sit there and take the pain, and then sit there and heal it, and then you got to live with the consequences of your action. Good morning. Welcome to the East West Podcast with your host, Horisumi, on this lovely Saturday, May 11th, 2024. Missed last week. Too busy, stuff going on. I'm off to Japan next week, so I won't be doing any episodes for a few weeks, but I'll do some reports from Japan. I'm going to participate in the Sanjay Matsuri again in Sakasa, Tokyo. So I'll be posting some videos from there, some photos from there. I'll try and do an interview with anyone I can find who speaks English, who looks interesting. Other than that, I'm just on a family holiday, so, we'll see how it goes. Now, I've been going to Sanjay Matsuri now for, I think the first time I went was 2016. So apart from the COVID years, I haven't missed a year yet. So I think last year was the first year of Sanja after COVID, and it was still, because Japan was very heavily closed down for 3 years. No visitors, no nothing. So it was a little bit strange last year. I don't think the Japanese were used to having too many foreigners. It was just it was a different vibe than the years I'd been used to before. So I'm hoping this year things are back to normal, and we have a good vibe at the festival, and things are good, because there wasn't even that many people there last year. It was very different from normal. Apart from that, it looks like tattooing has picked up a little bit, which is good. I mean, look, we're busy. Everyone I've spoken to, shop-wise, in Sydney, is almost every shop is dead, like very dead, except for, say, a few artists that have a name and have their clients and stuff. This is what I'm hearing from everybody. But we're actually in a much better position than I thought. We're actually pretty busy compared to everybody else. We've probably got half our guys are pumping it out, and we're getting heaps of walk-ins and stuff. So things are going well. So that makes me happy. When you run a business sometimes and things get slow, you're like, oh, is it just me? Am I doing something wrong? Whatever. But it's not. It's the entire industry. And it looks like we're doing something right because we're actually pretty busy. So that's good to hear. That makes me sleep a bit better at night, right? Globally tattooing, like I've spoken about before, globally tattooing has slowed down a little bit. It's going to change the game a little bit. I think probably a lot of shops are going to close. I'm already hearing stories of a lot of tattooers having to take second jobs and get, quote unquote, real jobs to make ends meet. So maybe this will be some sort of cleansing for the tattoo industry, the tattoo world, who knows. I think a lot of people, in the last 5 years kind of came in on the big wave, on the big boom years, and it never used to be like that. Tattooing was always, you had highs and lows, summer was busy, winter was dead, and this is how it was for years and years. And then, the Miami Ink sort of era really put tattooing into a boom phase that never really slowed down. And so this is our first kind of, I think for our first, I didn't have a shop in 2008, 2009 when the GFC, the Great Financial Crisis, happened. So I myself was quite busy. I didn't even notice it. But apparently other shops, and so when there was shops and stuff, it slowed down. But I didn't have a shop then. I was working for somebody else. So this is for us our first real slowdown since opening, and I think the first real slowdown in tattooing since the early 2000s. So we'll see how it pans out. From what I'm hearing, it's a lot of people are suffering. So the cream rises to the top, right? It is what it is. What else to report? I think that's about it. I finished some big pieces lately. I'm sure you've seen the videos. I've finished Big Sean's massive rib piece with the snake and the skull. I'm doing his lower legs next. So that's cool. That'll be another finished bodysuit when his lower legs are done. I started another sleeve on Rule. So So rules got full back. We'll have 2 sleeves done soon. And then we'll move on to the rib panels and down to the lower legs. So we'll probably outline all of that at one go. Outline his ribs and his lower legs all in one go so we can then chip away at it piece by piece and work in various sections. And yeah, so things are trucking along. And yeah, nothing else to report. Just things are good. So I can't complain. Nothing to rant about. My last episode, the 40-minute rant, you know, look, I care about tattooing, right? And so I get passionate about the details and the weeds about certain things. And, you know, that's just the way I am, right? So it pisses a lot of people off because everyone loves to have the way they do it's the right way and their opinions are the right opinions and stuff. And look, my opinions are just my opinions, what I think, right? If there's there's a right way and a wrong way to do some things, and I tell you what I think is my right way. So I would love to just see tattooing. I'd love to see a section of tattooing or a part or a group of tattooers that really took tattooing. I mean, look, there's a lot of good tattooers out there. And there's a lot of great tattooing out there. You know, but the idea that I like is this, you know, the trade itself having a bit of seriousness to it. You know, I like the idea of that. And when I say seriousness, I mean, like, when you look at, like, this is why people are, and such as myself, you're attracted to the romanticized idea of the Yakuza and the romanticized idea of, like, you know, outlaw motorcycle gangs and stuff like this. It's like that. You know, that brotherhood and that ideology of being part of something and this, you know, if you look at tattooing as a craft or a trade where there was, you know, rules and things you followed and ways to do things and everyone agreed to it and we all did things in a certain way to achieve a certain result, you know, I find this idea appealing. And this is the ideology I try to promote within my shop and with my apprentices and stuff. You know, maybe it's pie in the sky, right? But I like it, you know. I like the idea of you know, the traditional hard way of doing things and stuff. This is why I push that ideology, right? I mean, you know, I work with plenty. My best mate works beside me. He uses a pen for something. And I just, you know, I take the piss out of him for it. So if he draws on an iPad, I take the piss out of him for it. It is what it is. And, you know, but I like to push this idea of doing things the old way and doing things what I would call, you know, the right way, right, for the best results, right? And so if you listen to that stuff, and even if you can't live up to it, even if you don't want to, or you think it's outdated or outmoded or whatever, you know what I mean? The reason that I promote these ideas is because I think we have to aspire to the absolute best way we can. We all, you know, we all cut corners. We all take days off the gym. We all have cheat meals, right? If we're looking at big picture stuff, right? And, you know, there's days where, you know, like I use pre-made needles for outlining. I don't make all my outliners anymore. And, you know, I do a lot of stuff as best I can. But every now and then you gotta work within the parameters of what's efficient for the time you have. But to aspire to the higher level, I think is what I talk about and what's important to me, right? Is to embrace tradition and reject modernity, right? Reject the iPad, reject the pen, reject the cartridge, you know, reject all the fucking horseshit tattoo materialism products that you don't need, and just get back to basics and enjoy being a craftsman. That's my message. That's the core of my message, right? And also do good tattoos, right? Like what I didn't touch on last week was the whole, you know, what tattoos to do and what not to do. I was talking more about just the craft of tattooing. But, you know, there's the other stuff too, right? Like the hands, faces, necks, all that kind of stuff, right? So you've heard it all before. Anyways, that's my rant for today. All right, I'm off to Japan, like I said. I'll post some stuff from Japan, and I'll keep you guys updated how it goes over there. And I'll see you when I get back. Have a good one, guys. Ciao.